This is Toothless. He says we're going. Now.
Hiccup glided effortlessly across the sky, riding Toothless, his loyal Night Fury. Years of teamwork had forged an unbreakable bond between the two, allowing them to soar with a perfect sense of harmony. At speeds over 200 miles per hour, Toothless consumed only 1.3 fish per 100 kilometers, a testament to his efficiency. Without warning, Hiccup unbuckled his harness. He tilted his body like he'd had one too many drinks and tumbled downward. Toothless followed closely behind, both of them plummeting in a straight line. For a split second, it felt like they were back in the early days when everything was new and uncertain. They shared a quick, knowing smile in midair. As Hiccup opened his flight suit, he seemed to sprout wings of his own. Together, they glided through the clouds, feeling the rush of the wind beneath them. But suddenly, Hiccup spotted a mountain up ahead. With no time to correct their course, he shouted a warning to Toothless, but the dragon couldn't adjust his tail fin in time to save them. Just as the rocks were about to crash into Hiccup, Toothless swooped in, catching him in midair. They spiraled down, but Toothless protected Hiccup with his sturdy body. As they hit the ground, Hiccup stood up, shrugged off the mistake, and admired the view. Toothless, clearly annoyed, threw a small rock at Hiccup. Hiccup playfully pounced on him, attempting to wrestle the dragon to cheer him up. Suddenly, Toothless stood up and started walking toward the edge of a cliff. Hiccup's heart raced, and he grabbed Toothless tightly, realizing what was happening. But this threat served as a stepping stone for Hiccup to apologize, which Toothless accepted in kind. They resumed their playful antics, with Toothless giving Hiccup a good-natured tongue-lashing as punishment, grinning all the while. After their playful exchange, Hiccup took out his map. He dabbed it with Toothless's slobber, sharpened his pencil, and used a compass to finalize his direction. Over the years, he had been exploring unknown territories and creating maps to chart his discoveries. Just then, a loud roar echoed in the distance. Hiccup turned around to see Astrid, who had come at the request of Hiccup's father. She told Hiccup that his father wanted him to return and take his place as the next chief. But Hiccup had grown accustomed to freedom and had no desire to inherit the title. As they joked about his father's request, a column of black smoke appeared on the horizon. Without a second thought, Hiccup decided to join Astrid and investigate what was happening. After flying through the burnt forest, Hiccup and Astrid came upon a massive ice mountain. The mountains seemed to be encased in structures, complete with fortifications. Hiccup, having never seen anything like it before, glanced at Astrid, who was just as perplexed by the sight. Suddenly a dragon net shot out from the ground, ensnaring Stonefly, and Astrid was thrown off. Hiccup quickly swooped in to catch her. The trapped Stonefly was surrounded by a group of people. After a brief struggle, she was subdued by their leader and rendered immobile. Just as things were looking grim, Hiccup arrived and drew his weapon, demanding to know why they had attacked. After some tense negotiations, Hiccup learned they were part of a dragon hunting team, led by a man named Eret. They were out hunting dragons at the command of a man named Drago, with the aim of building a massive dragon army. Their hard-earned catch of dozens of dragons had been secretly released by a mysterious dragon rider, and their camp had been destroyed in the process. If they couldn't complete their mission, Drago would punish them severely. To their surprise, Hiccup, being a dragon rider, was mistakenly assumed to be an accomplice of the dragon thief. As Hiccup began to explain the misunderstanding, Eret spotted Toothless. In Drago's army, there was no Night Fury. If they could capture Toothless, it would be a monumental achievement. The tension in the air escalated, and just as Eret ordered his men to act, Toothless unleashed a fireball that struck an ice pillar. As the hunters dodged the falling ice, Hiccup seized the opportunity to free Stonefly and escape. Back at the village, Hiccup shared what had happened with his father. Upon hearing the name Drago, Stoic's expression darkened, and he immediately ordered all gates of Berg to be closed, with no one allowed to leave the island. The entire village went into lockdown. Hiccup had never seen his father so unsettled. He asked Stoic what was going on. Stoic then revealed that Drago was the first person to ever tame a dragon. During a meeting of all the tribal leaders, Drago appeared as a commoner and boldly claimed that he could tame all the dragons, condition that every tribe would submit to him. As the other leaders mocked him, a dragon clad in armor appeared and set the meeting hall ablaze. Stoic was the only one to survive. Hiccup was shocked and struggled to understand his father's fear. He believed that if he could change his father's perspective on dragons, he could convince Drago to end the war. As the gates were closing, Hiccup made a rash decision. He mounted Toothless and flew out, determined to prove his point. The impulsive nature of a youth full of optimism and naivety was inevitable. However, Hiccup's reckless actions would soon come with a heavy cost, one that would lead to his father's sacrifice.